growth did you see from Davis and week to week and the step forward he took this past game?
Yeah, I mean, like I've said before, he's growing every day, every week, and every game that he gets a chance to go out there and play. You continue to see him get better and learn from the little things and come out and practice and work on them. So he's going to continue to grow, and he has the right mindset for sure.
Your wide receiver group seems to be growing here. Nico Collins coming back, a couple of new guys. What can this group do once everybody's available?
I mean, a bunch of playmakers. Like I've said before, these guys across the board, are making plays and are selfless, and that's what you love about this group. They're willing to do little things to be able to get others open or block or whatever case may be. And I'm glad to have Nico back and those guys, and we look forward to getting them in the mix.
What's it say to you that Davis was selfish on third and fourth down?
I think a little bit of that comes like the previous game, just learning from those mistakes and taking what you can get, and at the same time, being manageable in first and second down, making third down a lot easier, making great reads and making quick reads, and you saw that all game from him.
Davis was talking about how game reps are so important
Yeah.
to a quarterback's development.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about those reps as opposed to just doing what you want to work on in practice that is so valuable?
Well, practice, you can work on things that what you're expecting to see, but at the end of the day, games, obviously, it can throw you for a curve and throw you for a loop, and to be able to see some of those type of defenses, the way that they change throughout the game, and just the tempo really and the pace. Game reps are always going to be a lot more, that you can learn from rather than practice. That's just with any group, especially with quarterback.
Brandin, when you went back and looked at the tape from last week, what do you think that you all missed in the second half that you were doing so effectively in the first half?
I'll have to say biting ourselves in the foot with some of those penalties. Like I said, when you can have first and second down, you can be manageable in those and make third down a lot easier. That second half with some of the penalties, getting behind the chains, third and long and whatnot is a lot tougher to get rather than third and short.
And that long touchdown drive y'all had, I think it was to start the game against the Patriots.
Yeah.
It seemed like it had a lot of that same diversity, creativity that you guys had in the Browns in the first half. Is that partly due to Davis Mills' kind of growth in the offense? Or?
Not only his growth, but our week of practice. I think just from start to finish, Wednesday through Saturday, we were efficient. We were practicing at a high level. And I think when you practice at a high level, that tends to roll over to the game.
How great was it for you, just as a teammate, to see Chris Moore go from the practice squad, have the game, now he's back there?
It was huge. I mean, that if that's not the epitome of being ready and when your number called, this guy, he comes to work every single day, works his tail off, he gets called up, and this opportunity came, he took advantage of it. It was definitely awesome to be able to see him go out there and make those type of plays.
Hey, Brandin, when you guys lose a player of Laramie Tunsil's caliber, obviously it's the next man up, but how tough is that to lose a guy like that that's a Pro Bowl tackle that's protecting the quarterback?
It's huge. I don't know exactly what's going on, but if that is the case, it's huge. You talk about a talent like that. The guy is special. He's been playing at a high level since the moment that he stepped into this league. But like you said, like I just said, with the next man up, when your number's called, being ready, we'll be ready for that.
Brandin, even though you all have lost 4 games in a row, you still have an opportunity maybe to even win this division.
Yeah.
We talked about this on Sunday. Is that something that you all talk about?
We talk about a little bit, but at the end of the day, we just need to get back on that win column. Obviously, everything that we want is still in front of us, but we got to really focus on, 1 week at a time. And the next man up is the Colts, and that's what we got to be focused on. We can't get too ahead of ourselves, especially in the position that we're in.
This week a little bit different because you are playing a division rival?
Absolutely, no doubt. Anytime you have a division game, it's always going to be a little bit different because in this league, the thing that you think about first is winning your division. And here we have another opportunity to play a division opponent after coming off a tough loss, so it's very important.
But the Bills game, there seemed to be a decrease in plays. Second half, Patriots seems like those get down. Once you get into those situations, do you start to realize how much emphasis there is on maximizing minimized plays, and how do y'all approach that?
That's a great question. At the end of the day, every play is important, but when you get in those situations, you got to focus on the little things and being able to get out there as much as you can, stay out there on the field as much as you can, because it's all about finishing in this league. You can start fast all you want to, but if you can't finish and match that same tempo that you had in the first half, then more times than not, you're not going to have success. Appreciate you.
What do you feel like going forward, take from that game?
Big thing, obviously, just protecting the football. When you're not turning the ball over, you have a chance to win the game when it comes down to it. So that was the biggest step, just making smart decisions and giving my team a chance.
What do you think allowed you to be so efficient on third and fourth down?
I think staying ahead of the sticks. A lot of those were third and shorts, fourth and shorts, so we had a chance. It's tough in those kind of third and longer situations where the defense knows you're going to throw. It's tough to find completions in those downs.
There was a lot of variance and creativity that first drive. Seemed a lot like what they were doing with y'all were doing against the Browns in that first half. Is that partly due to your growth in this offense?
I think we just had a really good game plan going into the game. Mixing it up, a lot of different looks, a lot of shifts and motions, and really had the defense guessing. I felt like we were just moving the ball very efficiently.
What are some of the challenges that the Colts present?
A lot of talent, really good front seven. We're going to have to handle them and then try to just make plays on the edge and also mix kind of the run and pass game up. Keep them guessing, like I said, but just got to go out there and execute.
Speaking of the front seven, can you talk about what you've seen on film about from Darius Leonard?
I mean, he's obviously really good linebacker in this league. Big, can run, but we just got to know where he's at on the field and be able to handle him accordingly.
Davis, after your performance on Sunday, are you a bit more confident going into this game versus the first two times you had to start for this team?
I've kind of answered that question previously. I don't think the confidence is an issue. I think the biggest thing is just kind of learning from my previous mistakes. If there were any in the games, like I said, there were. Learning from those and then just kind of continuing to get better each and every week.
David Kelly said he could tell that you had moved on from the interceptions against the Bills when you threw that touchdown pass to Chris Moore. He said you would have never thrown it if you had it because you would have been thinking interception. Did you feel that way too?
I mean, I'm out there in the moment every play. I'm not thinking that I'm going to throw an interception. I'm out there kind of making decisions, trying to protect the football. That pass, I tried to put it up where either Chris could have caught it or nobody was going to catch it. So I was just going out there trying to make plays.
Davis, whether it's confidence or whatever feeling you might be, when you have the effectiveness, what does that do for you? I know you say you're even kill, you want to be the same every week, but when you do have success, how do you handle success?
I mean, I think there's power and momentum. I think once you're starting to make plays, the team starts kind of rallying around that, and you get some energy off the sideline, some momentum, and I think kind of once everything starts flowing, that's when guys are out there having fun and playing really good football.
Can you talk about the loss of Laramie Tunsil?
It's tough. I don't know his entire status. I think you guys probably know a little more than I do about that, but I mean, he's a great player, protecting the backside, but I'm sure whoever will fill in for him is going to be ready, coached up by Coach Campen and TK, and they'll be ready for it.
How do you evaluate yourself after a game?
A lot of it is first like managing pre-snap, making sure I'm getting the offense into the right play, and then secondly is making sure I'm out there doing my job, handling the mic points accordingly, and then going through my reads and progressions and whatever I see by rule, getting the ball to the right person. So,
Do you know, like after you come back from a game, do you already have like a list of plays? You're like, all right, I'll go and look at this.
There's a couple that kind of stick in your head that either the good ones or the bad ones that you kind of want to go and fix. And I mean, the first chance you have that after a game is usually like the Wednesday practice. So initially that's it, but yeah, there's usually a couple that stick with you.
You don't jump into it like right away, kind of give yourself a Sunday night. I don't know.
I'll like breeze through the game on Sunday night and watch the film, but most of the stuff gets cleared up Monday or either once we get back on the field on Wednesdays.
What help is Justin Britt to you when you are able to talk ball with him, with his experience, and also with some of the things with protections that you guys do on the field?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the connection and the experience he has with all the different looks and being able to handle it. And the biggest thing with us is just being on the same page, making sure we're seeing the defense from the same set of eyes. And obviously he has a lot of experience, but in this system, kind of the quarterback has the final say. So just making sure he's comfortable with what I'm if I need to switch anything that he sees, making sure he's comfortable with that. But I felt like we've been on a really good page.
You guys are.
As you've moved into the starting role, is there anyone outside of this building that you've like talked to or looked to for advice or pointers or support or anything like that?
Some of it's just kind of non-football related, just my family and girlfriend, falling back to them. But I mean, all the football support we have in the building, with the coaches and players around me, everyone's extremely supportive, and I felt like we've done well so far.
You had another week of
situation of looking at.
Can you start your question over? Sorry.
Of course, yeah. When you compartmentalize each week at zone NC, but you also look at the future, how much do you think ahead? This morning, David Culley said that when he's healthy, that Tyrod will be the starting quarterback for the teams. How do you handle that kind of decision as you go about your work each week?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just coming in, putting your best foot forward every day, continuing to become a better football player, and really just if I'm the starter, whenever I'm preparing like I'm the starter, even if you're not. But I mean, the biggest thing is just putting the team in the situation to win games.
You all had another ineffective week of running the ball. How can you all, as an offense, get that jump started again?
A lot of it's just execution. Some of it on my end, making sure we're in the right mic points. There were a couple times in the game where I either pointed wrong or didn't bring down somebody for support and blocking. So some of it's on me, and then some of it's just mixing it up, trying to execute a little better.
Two more.
You mentioned about starting and that kind of stuff. I mean, do they communicate that to you weekly? Was that something like you're just working every day, and then whenever they tell you, they tell you?
I mean, I'm sure we'll all be in the loop. We'll know what the deal is when it comes a little closer.
With Nico Collins practicing today, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of depth growing within the wide receiver group. Added a couple of guys. What does that group bring to the offense once all these guys are healthy again?
I mean, the room's loaded with talent. Once everyone's healthy and everyone's out there able to perform, it's going to be exciting. We're going to be able to make some plays.
Last one. All set.
Cool.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
everyone.
What's your thoughts on that in light of John Gruden's comments in the email that was released?
I want to say that I'm surprised, but I'm not. You know what I mean? We knew that there was stuff going around the league like that happening with him, so it is what it is. He's ready if that opportunity ever does come.
Justin, what have you all thought about the game plan that now that T.Y. Hilton is coming back for the first time this year?
Doesn't really change much, honestly. The game plan is to play the defense, play the system that they run. They play a lot more Philadelphia plays with Carson Wentz being there than they did in years past. And we're just going to play, our keys. I don't think that T.Y. will be a big emphasis, and I'm saying that knowing that T.Y. is notoriously done well against the Texans, but it is a different defensive system. So we're going to play our keys and see how it goes.
What did you see from Michael Pittman Jr.?
Oh, I like him. I like watching his tape. He's a big guy. He's physical. I think he's a good receiver.
How much have you seen Lonnie grow into his role, and what does the defense get when you both are in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we said this since the beginning. It's just his biggest thing when he first moved to safety was just getting the experience of being a corner his whole life, and he's grown the role, and he'll tell anybody, I'm a safety now, not a corner. So he's done a great job there. Has the ball skills from playing receiver back in his high school days and things like that. I think that the coverage is great when we're both out there because we both have the ability to play man and be interchangeable that way.
How hard is it to come from the cornerback position to the safety position?
It's really a mentality. The cornerback position, you're a little bit more an island. You're out there. Really, it's all coverage. If you play safety, you have to be willing to get your nose dirty. You know what I mean? You have to be willing to go and play in the box and hit a fullback, hit a tight end, guys that weigh sometimes 30, 40, 50 more pounds than you do. And the biggest responsibility is sure tackling. You know what I mean? So it's just a mentality thing, and it's a willingness to make those tackles.
Just when you see, obviously you're covering, but when you watch the tape, when you see from John Bernard as a rusher and a run stopper?
I think they have two. You talking about John Gennard? Oh yeah, I mean last week he had a great game. I was excited to see it. I mean he blew the running back up on that one play whenever he twisted inside. Had a big time sack when we needed it in the game. That's something that I know opposing offenses are going to have to watch out for, keep an eye on him, especially as he continues to do that. So it was big time plays that he made.
What about what you see from Carson Wentz on tape?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure him out as I watch the tape, honestly. I know he is an experienced quarterback. He's talented. He knows what he's doing. They're playing a lot of the system, and I'm still trying to figure him out as far as his biggest strengths and weaknesses and how to attack him. But right now, everything's neutral.
You're one of the team leaders, this season. How do you just keep the players motivated, not on just the defense side, but the offensive side too, especially after going through this losing streak that you all are on?
Yeah. Well, the benefit of having such a veteran team is there's a lot of leaders. It's not just me, myself, and it definitely makes it easier when there are multiple voices all saying the same thing. As far as staying positive, staying on your keys, not letting the record splinter relationships or divide the locker room. The guys who are still here from last year, there's not many of us. The guys who are still here from last year, we know what that looks like when the locker room starts to fall apart. And right now at this point this year and where it was last year is completely different stories. So the locker room is definitely held together much more closely this year. And we just got to keep plugging away and have it show up on Sunday. I don't know. I mean, when your head coach gets fired, that kind of feels like it starts a process, and it's not like it happens overnight. It's just a slow creep in.
Who do you turn to, Justin, when you're going through adversity, like with this losing streak now, away from the locker room, maybe someone personal?
Honestly, I try and dive into it. I try and look at myself. I spent every day this week going and talking to our defensive coordinator, just watching the tape, seeing whatever I can do to help the team more. I have a brother who played in the league, so he knows how this goes too. So sometimes we'll just talk ball. I'll talk to my agent. I've even called my former coach at Stanford, Coach Shaw, and talked to him about it too. So I have a lot of people in my corner, and I'm fortunate for that.
You get a chance to talk to Ryan Clark?
Yeah, I talked to RC too. He's a big mentor to me. I train with him every offseason. And he's played for a long time too. So he gives me some good advice at times too.
Do you have a preference, playing back, playing close to the line?
I kind of do like playing back more. I like playing both of them just because it's kind of like a different flavor of the day. You never get bored just being in one spot. I do like being back more, but I'm confident and able to play in the box, and it's fun to do it sometimes as a change-up.
You talked about you like to look in the mirror and try to, see what you can work on personally. After having conversations with the defensive coordinator, what are some of the things you need to work on in order to be even better moving forward?
Yeah, there's always a way to be faster on reading the run keys, as far as not taking a false step, just heading straight downhill. There's reads in the post as far as how we're shifting in our disguises and how our feet are working. We want to be just stout across the board, not to get too much into the details of what we do in the back end. But it's just the little things, those little things. Football is a game of inches. And if you can find a way to steal 2 or 3 more inches, whether that's a read step or a key or how to read something faster, it might make all the difference in the world between making a play and not making a play.
On Sunday, you alluded to that you all are still in this race to win the division, and then you watched on Monday night when Indianapolis dropped the game and going and play. How huge would a win this week be for you all?
Oh, absolutely. It'll be enormous because we'd be 2-0 in the division. And the quickest way to the playoffs is to win your division. So this is the divisional opponent that we know well. They know us well as far as franchise on franchise. So it's going to be an exciting game to go play in.
Would it be a little bit of an advantage to you guys because you mentioned, yes, the coach do know you guys well, but like you just mentioned, a lot of the players that they are used to wearing that Texans jersey, they're not here no more.
Yeah. Yeah, so it is a little bit closer to an out-of-conference games than it has been maybe the last couple of years on their end, possibly for the guys who haven't been here too, because it'll be their first time seeing them as a divisional opponent. But the coaching staff still know each other well. I mean, Coach Frank came from the Colts too, so we still have a lot of connections that go in between the two organizations.
Thank you.
Cool. Appreciate you guys.